men most likely to give you money are men from the streets. My bestie and I have come to this conclusion, and this is after years of dating men who are in the corporate space, who are in different industries, finance, tech, you name it, whatever, okay? And I think it's something to be said because a lot of women, particularly black women, obviously other women of color, are dating these men, going to these country clubs, going to these places, assuming that these white men are going to take care of you or these other men are going to take care of you. And I just feel like, in my experience, I'm talking about my experience, and I feel like we're kind of sharing like big sister advice. You are more likely to be taken care of from a man of the streets. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's like a DNA thing and they just feel like, okay, they're always take care of their own. I don't know. I don't know where they get their money from, but I feel like this has been something very recently that we've come to the knowledge of. Because the men in, let's say, corporate, what we've noticed, you want to talk about what we've seen on Reddit?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll see so many posts about I hit the $500,000 mark on the stocks. I hit the crypto this. I hit $1 million.
Yeah.
And if you keep looking through all of these posts, you see that these are men that are not giving any money to
No.
any woman. Their wife is still working.
They're still
hard.
working. And the thing is, they have all of this money in their assets and whatever, but they don't believe in taking care of the woman at all. Or what they'll do is they'll make her an average stay-at-home mom, aka she doesn't have a nanny, she doesn't have any kind of help. There's no luxury, there's no vacation, there's no nothing, and they have this way of just demoralizing women. And I think those are the same women, those are the same men. They're like, you should be grateful that I helped you pay a bill. They're not handing it out like, they're not doing that.
It's
Like,
not self.
It's because they understand what it takes to make that money. They understand the time, the patience, the struggle, the information that it takes to get there, to be in that position to do those things. It's years of their life, their energy, their output. And to have women here saying just confused, why this is some sort of unique phenomenon. No, it's simple. Street money comes fast. And what's fast, and when people don't appreciate what it took to get that, they're willing to give it away to impress you for the small interim, for that interim time, for that small space to get what they want from you. Who trying to say that these street dudes take care of their own, it's in their DNA. You couldn't be farther from the truth. And at this point, it's upsetting. It's upsetting that you sit here and equate this basically about where how a man spends his money. That the street dudes spend more, are more willing to spend that. So what does that mean? That they care more, or that because men are saying, men of means, men of talent, men of a higher caliber are saying, no, you just don't get to get the spend. Me making your life easier by making you a stay at home, wife is easier because you're not out here in the grind, right? You're not outside. You don't have to do these things. You want this life of luxury, and you don't understand that in order to get that, there has to be commensurate value given. This is the missing part of the conversation, that it seems like from video to video to video to video, and I'm gonna still believe that it's a vocal minority do not understand that in order to get Y, you have to show a value for X. You just don't get it because you are around these men. You just don't get it because you think men are supposed to do that. How long do we have to keep going over videos or experiencing the same thing before we say, wait, wait. I'm no longer able to shame men into doing the things that I feel like they should do. Maybe it's time to take another tactic and understand that if you want a man of means to part with his money, you're going to have to convince him why it's in his best interest to do so. Why this giving up this money, this time, this energy of his life makes sense for you. But again, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Still trying to do two a day. And, this video got me a little fired up because it's almost like there's a willful ignorance. right? A complete willful ignorance and lack of understanding. And these appear to be educated women who at least, if we're to believe, have enough wherewithal to date men in these spaces. Um, and we'll just leave it at that, right? That they are. Let's just say let X equal true. That they actually date men in these spaces. I don't think they do, because then you would understand that at least one of these men would have made you realize, no, why why there's this separation. Why? Because he what it took for him to make that money. That's why he's least likely just going to say, I'm going to willfully spend on someone I just met, someone I don't know. What we see online a lot of when they're referencing going on Reddit, you're seeing these communities, and I've frequented some of those, like Road to a Million, Road to 500,000, Road to 100,000, where people share mainly men sharing their journey, usually with stocks, um, of trying to hit a certain, monetary milestone. And these are people in these Reddit threads, forums for years, because that's sometimes what it takes. Sometimes, yeah, you hit it big, you hit it lucky, but even when that seems big, when that seems like an overnight thing, an overnight win, they understand the years it took to get there. It's not just a quick jump where you've got this fast money from the streets. To think that this is somehow in their DNA to take care of their own shows a complete lack of understanding of men, of what's happening, and culturally, what it how that fast money usually translates into what type of lifestyle, into the dead end prison trap that it gets to. But because it it's almost as if the most important thing is that a man is willing to spend his money on you. He's willing to shower you with luxury, shower you with an easier life. That seems to be the most important thing. Not how he got it, just the willingness for him to do it. And to me, that is more than disconcerting. It's scary that this is the value structure that we're falling under, that the younger generation are falling under. I just want someone to spend money on me. It does not matter how he made the money. It does not matter how he made the money or what the character reveals with how he made the money. I just want what I want when I want it. And when I don't get that, I'm left confused. I'm left feeling like I'm sort of just ignorant of what's happening here. Again, I think it's a willful ignorance. I think it's a desire not to understand. It's simply putting your wants and needs ahead of everything else. You don't understand that men that get that money fast have to do it at usually at the detriment of someone else's money, health, or time. When you see these people coming on online and showing you the latest scam, you don't often see the victims of these people that had their entire life upended because they fell for the latest scam. And these people are taking what it took them 25 years to slowly amass. And even that 25 years isn't enough to see them to the end of their life. It was recently, and I'll try to find it, try to do a video on that, where a man was scammed out of his life savings, and it was something like $400,000. $400,000 sounds like a lot, but not when you're 65 and can no longer work. When this is the money that's supposed to send you to see you to the rest of your life. We really don't care about that because it's the fast money, and the fast money being spent on you, and that's the most important thing to you. You don't see what happens to a lot of these scammers when the law finally catches up to them. Well, what would it matter? Because now you're just off to someone else willing to spend that money. And then if you're trying to date these people in the higher echelon that took their time to make money, and they're telling you why, or their actions are showing they're not willing to do that, there's a reason behind it. And it's not just the easy conclusion that they're simply selfish, they don't care about women, or they don't care about making the woman's life easier. What's easier by your definition versus reality seems to be very far apart. My thought is that you took what was easier from social media, from what it showed of having this jet setting, island hopping, sort of luxurious lifestyle, and you said, "That's what I want. That's what an easy life looks like." And I need to find a man that's willing to spend a bag, spend some bands to show me what that is, because that's what I desire. That's what I deserve. Full stop. I'm not saying that's not right. I'm not saying you don't deserve it, but you're going to have to find the men that can do that for you, hopefully long term, and show them why you deserve that. Show them why, if, and I'm being facetious here, right? If 95% of the women want that lifestyle, why is he going to say, I'm solely going to give it to you? Make that make sense. I think that's a better question to ask rather than posit that men on the street are more generous. Of course, it's not their money. Of course, it took them a week to make it, a week to steal it. Of course, they have no intrinsic attachment to that. Their time isn't, and their life force isn't attached to that. Oh yeah, it's someone else's business, someone else's thing. I can easily replace that. Versus when you get to men who can easily replace what you're asking them to do because of their own income, they're unwilling to do it for you, should tell you they don't value you the way you think you value yourself. You're not bigger than the game. You're not bigger than the program. And these men of means are telling you as much. When you go on Reddit and assume that you know about their lives, what's happening there from a post, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're in an echo chamber where it does not matter what reality comes and says, this is actually happening. This is actually the truth. You want this to be right so bad, you ignore the truth of everything else. That's the only way you have such an asinine take and put it online. If you think I'm missing something, if you think I'm wrong, I think you're wrong this time. Right? I'm being fair here. I think you're absolutely wrong. But again, always open for the discourse. I think that's what the channel should be about. We're open to be wrong. In that way we get better and our arguments get, more salient. If you see videos on your screen, take a look at those and let me know what you think about those as well. And of course, if you listen to sound my voice and understand that getting it out the mud takes time, takes effort, yeah, you should probably subscribe and join the train. I'll see you in the next one.